Thanks for joining us, and kind enough to spend some time with us right now is Jay Kweskin. Jay is a care manager, certified senior advisor, and he is the owner of KwesCare. And first of all, Jay, I guess I'd like you to have me know a little bit more about what KwesCare is in the first place.
Okay. Well, KwesCare is a care management company, and we work with families with whatever issues pop up with their loved ones, and usually seniors, to help them get by the struggles of the later years.
You're a talented guy. You could have done a lot of things. Why do you do this?
It like many others, and I learned a little bit from experience and got into this. Found some ways of becoming training in the senior market and other ways to help seniors, and I found it very rewarding. So that's what I do.
What are the needs that you saw based on your personal experience that you drew into how KwesCare works?
Well, it really, things can be very overwhelming for families and for individuals that are trying to find care and whatever needs to be, whatever assistance is needed in this next stage. So the factors that came in with me were simply, it just, it was very overwhelming. It was overwhelming for my family. You learn as you go, but I learned enough that I thought, okay, this may be a good idea to help others.
So these things that you've been through yourself, you have learned from and are applied to how you work. So
Exactly.
you're a care manager.
Exactly.
What
Yes.
is that? What do you do?
So a care manager is someone who can take a particular situation and relieve that overwhelming sense that families are having. And a lot of it has to do with advice and management and direction, and just try to put all the pieces together so that a family can see what all their alternatives are, and at the same time have the loved one be the center of that assistance.
There's a very famous actress who was telling a story on the radio once, and I'll never forget this. She was saying that her mother had dementia, and her father was so good at masking it, they didn't have any idea how bad it really was. So, first of all, when you're the care manager, it's more than just physically caring for a particular person. You got a whole family you're working with.
Right, exactly. And with that, you have a lot of dynamics in a family. So you do have situations where you may have some family members that are in town that are actively involved with their loved one. You may have people that are out of town that want to be actively involved but can't.
Sometimes in the same family.
Or some that don't want to be involved at all. And that causes some conflict. So I always tell people, no, I'm not a counselor, but I do my share of mediating and try to work with families and try to keep in mind that our number one goal here is the well-being of their loved one, of the older adult.
Jay, do you sometimes find that getting family members to cooperate is part of the journey of caring for the person we've all been called into the room to serve?
Oh, yeah, it really is. It's, you have to keep that reminder out there. That this is for mom or this is for dad. And that, there are some other needs out there, but you try to get them back to that center of deciding that, this is the best alternative for mom or dad.
When these situations show up in the family living room, you find out where the strengths and weaknesses of your family structure are, and you find that out in a hurry.
Yes.
What are some of the specific issues that you've dealt with, Jay?
It's interesting because sometimes they're very simple, and sometimes people have the families have these concepts of, okay, here's what I want to do down the line, let's talk about it. And that's wonderful if they can plan ahead. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen every day. That's probably the ideal situation, and a lot of families do that. But it's more often that there's an immediate need out there, and that there's something that's happened that caused the family to say, "Oh, we need some help now," and maybe there is some some issues between the family dynamic, or they need some extra help, or once again they're just overwhelmed and they need somebody else to be in their corner to help with this. So what happens then is really it could be a number of things, and probably the most the thing I work with most is, okay, what do we do now? And those situations really are sometimes it's to decide whether the best alternative is in-home care, what type of in-home care. Maybe the alternative is, or maybe they want to even go to an assisted living or independent living. It really depends on those dynamics and what the current status is of that individual.
You're the founder of KwesCare.
Yes.
You're the owner of KwesCare.
Yes.
You're a CSA, a Certified Senior Advisor. I know what an owner is.
Okay.
I know what a founder is. What's a CSA?
Well, it's the way, as I mentioned earlier, the way most of us got started is by experience, and experience is the best trainer. Okay, so the next step there is certified senior advisors in a lot of cases, and the CSAs, the CSA Society of Certified Senior Advisor actually has a education and certification program. And with that, it provides knowledge and a way of learning about what's happening in today's world with older adults. And it also allows you CE credits, to keep going and to keep learning, and that helps. They also do background checks on people to stay in with the certified senior advisors.
Now, Ted, how long are you going to spend with the couple, with the individual, with the family? Is it going to be one visit, a couple of visits, ongoing, or is it all of those?
Right. And really, that's also a very good question, because sometimes it is just one. Sometimes it's, look, here's what we need to do. We have to make this decision. What's our alternatives? And that's it, okay? But more times than not, there's some ongoing issues. Maybe sometimes it has to do with health. Okay, there's health changes. Maybe it's financial changes. Maybe it's changes in just their needs. Maybe once again, the family dynamics may have changed, and they have to talk to some financial planners or get an attorney involved. And I tell everybody, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a financial planner, but at the same time, I can kind of get an idea of what their current situation is, and then and lead them to the proper assistance.
So you got a daughter who lives in Seattle, and she wants to make all of the calls. You've got another daughter living here in St. Louis with mom and dad, and she's doing all of the work. You've got a brother who's sometimes involved and sometimes not.
Yeah.
All of these people might be on the Zoom call, but there's another entity here that doesn't have a face, but has a presence, and that's fear.
Yeah.
How do you... And fear can take so many different forms, but it always works down to anxiety. How do you deal with that?
And it really is. And the fear, that usually comes from the individuals themselves. That's the older adult is the one that expresses that first. It does. It does cover the family too, and when the older adults, it has that fear factor, the rest of them do too, okay, for whatever reason.
They want to advocate.
And they do, and that's the thing, to have an advocate and someone you can trust, that you believe that is on your side, and you're trying to take some of that stress away, and just an extra backing, that does make quite a difference. So that will alleviate some of that fear. You're always going to have some, because there's always some changes going on, whether it's physical or whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whatever. Okay, these changes are going to happen, and if you have somebody there throughout the journey, that does help.
You've seen enough of these care journeys. Is it fair to say that experience makes a difference?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. And even when I assist families in trying to find other professionals, whether it's doctors, whether it's an attorney, to finish off their wills and all their paperwork. Experience is a factor. I have to have experience with them. There's, for example, home care companies, there's like 400 in the St. Louis area. It's insane. Okay, I use 6 or 7. Why do I use them? Because I know the owners very well, and I know their process, and I know where they're good, and where they're what they're best at. So I can convey that, and those I have vetted. So I filter that down to the families.
So the family is not alone in this.
Right. Absolutely.
No. All right. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, Jay, what's the best way to do that?
Best way is my email address, and that is j@kwescare.com. That's kwescare.com. Or my phone number is 314-941-2951 is my cell phone. You can call me directly.
Jay Kweskin, founder, owner, and certified senior advisor. Thank you for the gift of your time. I know you don't have a lot of minutes to spare, so thanks for spending some of those with us.
I appreciate it.
And thank you for spending time with us today.
Thanks a lot.